Great, we'll just bow in together and then. Great. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Great. So we're just going to start with a few loosening exercises. They're just based on the directions of the body. So the first one, just working the vertical line. So you're just going to nice and loosely just explore this direction up and down, keeping the toes loose and the knees loose. Just let the weight enter the heels. So just feel the length of the spine. Weight entering the ground. If it's cold and you feel colder with it, just make it a little bit more active. So you kind of jump out the ground, let the weight settle a little bit more. Warm this up. You can engage also just relax the shoulders as well. So let the whole joint of the arm release. So the shoulder to the elbow to the hands. Just let it relax as much as possible. And just get a really clear idea of this line. What I want you to think about is pulling from the top of the head, drawing right up onto the toes, and then release it down into the ground and just relax everything. So you're just going to pull up, lengthen all the way through the crown of the head, as if the skull gets kind of pulled up. Draw the whole body tight and then drop it down, relax it. Let's try a few here. Right up to the top, drop it. Great. Okay, and then we're just going to explore the front and back directions very gently to start, just shifting the weight in the toes. So that's good. Just feel the balance of the body to shift it forward, shift it back to the heels. Again, as much as possible, try and keep the shoulders loose, but the arms just kind of follow the movement. Good. And as you get into this now, what I want you to think about is moving directly from the chest. So kind of feel a point in the chest here and think about being pulled forward with it and pushed back with it. So you're exploring the balance, also a little bit of mobility work in the chest area. Pull it, push it. Just listen to the balance in the body, what's happening through the rest of the body as you draw forwards, back. Okay. That's perfect. Right, very nice. Really nice. Okay, we're going to go to the lateral lines now, so going side to side. And this one just shifting the weight, side to side, just sway over the foot. And just let the foot receive the weight of the body again. And again, try and keep it as relaxed as possible. So you don't want to do this tight in the legs. As much as possible, try and keep the legs relaxed. And again, the arms, shoulders, just let them release towards that side. Especially the same side connection. Side. Just feel the opposite side of the body become loose or light. The weight. Right. And just a slight change in this one. I want you to think about a line or a point on the body just at the rib cage, and I just want you to play with pulling this side out. So you've got a kind of string tied between the body and it's being pulled one way and the other. And just a little bit of mobility for the space the rib area. And once you've got a feel for the kind of line, just play with, you can slightly make it flexible, roll it a little bit. Same time keeping the legs loose, keeping the arms loose. and then just coming back into the center again. A little bit wider with the legs with this one, and you're going to start to now rotate. So just think about again relaxing the legs down into the ground. The arms are relaxed, and then just think about here just twisting the torso. So from the kind of hips up, this whole region is now going to rotate through. So, and just let the arms kind of wrap the body. That's it. Okay. Right. Let everything go from the tailbone to the top of the spine. So, just keep going. 1 sec. Okay, good. Perfect. Very nice. Very perfect. So a key point in this one, just watch the knees when you do this. So you don't want to be basically twisting the knees. So you don't want to be doing this kind of thing yet with the knees. So when you do this, think about the body basically relaxing down. So this movement. So it's mostly the upper body that's doing this movement. Later we'll bring in the hips to this next, but just feel that the leg can relax down so the knees stay open. Be very careful not to twist against the knee with this, especially with kind of a twisting motion of the upper body. You don't want to transfer that motion into the knee. So feel that the knees are kind of moving towards the toes all the time. Staying open. That's it. Perfect. Okay, then just to introduce the leg movement, what you're going to do is shift the weight towards the leg. So again, not bending the knee and not twisting it, just falling towards it. So keep this motion with the arms. And then just gently shifting the weight towards the foot. Side, the other side. So you just want to time now the swing with the drop of the body. So perfect. Great. Great, and then just a little bit more dynamic. What you're going to do is now let the back hip rotate with the movement. So that whole foot, this whole line of the body is going to release. And then you do the same on the other side. Give yourself time in this one to kind of reset. Find the top of the movement with the arms, and then drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Again, be really careful of the knees here, not to twist against them. Just follow, listen to your own body. And then just a little bit more active with the arms, so same body movement, but let this arm now from the top go all the way up through. So just play with one side now. So this leg is going to, this arm is going to swing through, and then raise it up, swing it through, raise it up, swing it through. So super relaxed, as relaxed as you can be through the whole joint, and just let the whole body whip it through, whip it through. You got one side of the body really anchored into the ground, and the other side should be nice and free. Express that movement there. Great. Nice. Perfect. Great, so we'll go to the last direction. So this is basically the internal external direction, or opening and closing direction. So feel like the body's like a kind of accordion. You want to close it and then open it out. So this is, you can also think of it as an expansion, contraction. You basically want to be working internally and then let it come out of the body. And this is going to translate into a kind of wave through the spine. You can feel this. You're going to close the body up and then open it. So really let the hips be nice and flexible with this. And the knees are open. Let the arms just follow the movement. Okay, we're just going to slightly make this a little bit bigger. What you're going to do now with the arms is come up to the top and then let them go inside here. And then from the hip, curl the body all the way down. All the way, and just release the whole spine at the bottom. Especially the head. So you want to feel the head just kind of right at the end of the spine, like a big weight at the end of it. Relax the knees this way. So you're not trying to stretch the hamstrings, just drop the weight towards the ground. Okay, and really gently, you can leave the hands on the floor here, or you can just take them about just above the head so that they're off the ground. And then I just want you to play with swinging the spine. So the whole upper body now, just let it sway. Like the head's a pendulum. And keep all the body relaxed, nice and slow. Then just stop it, let the arms release again. And really slowly coming back up. You want to coil the whole spine up, so from the hips now all the way up. It's going to coil up. The last thing to go is the head. Just do one more. So you come up. Go through the center line. Coil the spine down, all the way, release towards the ground. Release the head, neck. Just get the arms out of the way, and again, just gently moving the spine. And just explore different directions here. Also, you can do through the legs, a little bit up and down. Very carefully, you can add a rotation to it. And again, dropping the arms like that. Slowly coming it back up. Take your time, no rush. Coil up all the way up through the spine. Perfect. Just do a little bit for the arms, so just rolling the shoulders out. Backwards and forwards. Spread the arms out as far as you can. It's like you're pulling the arms apart from each other. Press through the heel of the hand and think about pulling the fingers back towards the body. So just get that position, stretch right up. And then what I want to do from here, just start to coil the joints in and out, front and back. Keep that sense of pressure going out of the palm. Heel of the hand. It's coiled, opening. Great. I'm just going to go to the elbow. So you just want to roll it right down. Just feel that you roll the whole arm. So from the elbow down to the forearm. Spiral. Just play with the arms. I can do this up at the top. You can do it down below. Do that to the side. Great. Switching to the side. Both directions. Great, and then bring them both together. So you can do them the same way, or you can do them alternating. Both. So that's. Great, we go to the hands, just shaking them out, up and down. Left and right. Try and release through the knuckles as well, so the fingers, the knuckles, up and down again. At the side. Great. And then you're going to extend through the fingertips, nice and fast. Spread them out like kind of flicking something off the fingertips. Great. And then the opposite, you're going to make fists nice and tight. Just going to work in this part. So I want you to take the wrist, take the forearm with this hand. So you're going to do two moves, you're going to do three movements. You're going to open the hand, you're going to close it, and you're going to release it like this. So you just want to play with basically opening, closing the fist, and then releasing it. Open, close, release it. Once you've got that with the other hand, at the same time as you're doing the movements opening, think about gently squeezing with this hand. So you're going to kind of squeeze and roll on the forearm. Also when you do the relaxed one. And just play with, once you've got it, play with working down the arm. So up to the elbow. Just play with these three moves. Open, fist, release. Open, fist. So feeling the side of the arm as well. You want to add a little bit of a rotation against it. Doing both sides. So open, closing, releasing. Open, closing, releasing. So, got it. Nice. Great. Shaking them out again, just at the top. Side to side again. Great. We're going to go into swinging movement. So this one is a full body swing. You want the feet shoulder width up. This one, you're going to use the arms. You're going to bring them to the back here, stretch right to the back of the body, and then drop the weight all the way through, swinging the arms down. So just take your time with this. Come right to the top. Pause at the top of the movement. Elbows kind of pointing up, and then release through the whole body. So up to the top and then down. Up to the top, down. Right, keep going. Nice. Okay, great. Yeah, so there's a few ways you can do this exercise. You can do it in a way where you're kind of dropping everything down towards the ground. What we're going to use this in a way is for a practical or functional movement, which is basically the sword cut. So which is basically swinging the sword and impacting with it. So I want the upper body to be, in this case, quite active or engaged in the movement. So what I want you to think about this case is like if you've got a ball in the hands, as you pull it back, think about here pressing the ball into the ground. So I don't want in this case to do that, but I want to do something like this. So it's as if you're dropping the ball into the ground. So keep the upper body basically engaged forward, but feel that you're throwing it down to the ground. So just use these two positions, the top, extend it fully, and then the bottom of the movement, just hold it a little bit at the bottom. And I want to feel them kind of engaged into the ground. This is also good practicing keeping the core tight, so or engaging from the core, but trying to keep the arms light so that the arms are released. And the main feeling you want to work on here is just being heavy, so you just want the body to enter the ground. Wait. That's perfect. And the other one with it, just think about the shoulders. So we have a tendency, especially a lot of us nowadays working with computers, driving, all this kind of thing, sitting a lot, tendency to kind of hold the shoulders forward. So I'm kind of in this kind of position, holding the shoulders. So think when you do this, really relax the shoulder. So the shoulder should feel free to kind of swing through. So the kind of test for this, or a good way to practice this, is now at the bottom of the movement, let the arms go back and swing back straight back up. But I want to get away from this idea of kind of holding the arms in position. So if you are throwing the ball with it, you kind of throw it, release it. So that the kind of throw of the ball is also a release, and then I pick it back up. Oh. So the two joints, especially in this exercise, the shoulders and the knees are going to stay open. So there's a little bit of movement in the knee at the bottom of the movement, while the weight shifts in the body backwards and then up. Backwards. So, yeah, perfect. Got it. Okay, great. We'll go to another one. This one, again, you want the arms out to the side. This one, you're just going to drop both arms down. Again, you want the weight of the body to enter the ground. You're just going to swing the arms here. Just with this one, you've got the arms kind of crossing over. Just alternate them each time. So you've got there, there. So your key positions here are, again, the top of the movement. You want to feel that the arms are kind of spread out wide. And then, again, engaging the hips down. Releasing. And again, especially the shoulder now, keeping the shoulder open. You basically want the arm to work in a sideways swing. Oh, yeah. And when you get used to this, just start to work it flexibly. So that makes the centers constantly. Oh, 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 every time. And the key thing is try not to hold the arms in the structure. Just let them swing from the center. Keep going. So we're going to add a slight twist to this now. So we did this a little bit before when we did this movement. What I want you to do now is keep that sense of the arms dropping, but you're going to let one go to the shoulder and the other hand's going to go to the back hip. So you're going to be, again, in this position. You're going to introduce a slight spiral into the body now. So the hip, feel that it's keeping, whilst maintaining the center line of the body. Feel that the hips are going to kind of open and close, open and close. So you want now the arm to go to the shoulder. This comes across, and the other just go to the back hip. If you do this the same side, or you can alternate it each time. And just want a gentle kind of impact into the body. And that's just feedback in the arm being loose. So if I'm holding the arm, that will the arm get kind of blocked. If I'm releasing it, it'll just come back onto the body. You don't be too hard of it, but you just want a little bit of a heavy contact against the body. So, good. Great. Yeah. And the key point of this exercise, especially for Aikido, for us, it's about whole body movement. But for us, the key objective at the center leads the movement. So this region, if you think about the hips and the waist, what you want to feel is that this region actually starts the movement. So that rather than the movement starting here in the arms or also in the legs starting here, think of it actually generating the movement from the core of the body. So as if the arms get pulled down into the center. So think of a kind of corkscrew motion happening from the hip, from the hips to the waist, enters the hips, and it enters the shoulders. And the other key thing, I'll show this from the side, when you do this, watch for this happening. I basically get loaded to the front of the body. So the other thing you're doing is trying to balance the body front and back. So you don't want to feel like you're leaning into it or kind of holding the body backwards. Feel all the time the center mass of the body dropping directly between the feet all the time. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Come back to the center. We'll do a little bit more of an active one now. So this one is like kind of running with the arms. So you do alternating with the arms like this, and just get them around about the level of the eyes. And again, just want them to release down. So as one goes to the front, one goes to the back. And you're a little in this one, you can be a little bit more active forwards as well. So let the hip engage a little bit. Just get into it, just get the arms kind of swinging, relax. Again, center weight of the body between the feet, relax lower body. Arms nice and heavy. And try and be aware as much of the backwards movement of the arm as the front. Okay. This exercise is very similar, just about connecting the hip work to the hand work. So place one hand at the center of the body, keep the feet kind of square on. What I want to feel is you don't move the hand unless the hip is drawing it out. So you want to feel that the hip, in this case, is drawing the hand out, and then the reverse of it is pulling it back. So it's pulling it out, pulling it back. You want the communication to be kind of direct, so you don't want there to be a kind of delay that the hip goes and then the hand, hip and then hand. You want them to go together, but you don't want to feel that the arm's leading the movement in this one. So the same idea as the last exercise, but just feel that you really get the hip engaged and then the hand. And try and feel all the time that the hip doesn't lose connection with the hand. So this connection stays kind of thick. So you want to make a really clear connection between the hand and the hip in a very direct way, as if really like it's attached. That kind of thing. You just try it on both sides. The other hand on the center, just to kind of feel what's happening in that whole area of the body. The key thing to feel in this hand, if you take your focus to this hand, is a feeling of dropping down as well. So I don't want the center kind of pull out, or the opposite kind of pull out to the back. So think of the center just dropping down. Just switch between the two hands. Once you've got that connection, very clear, just again, go a little bit back to this kind of swing. And again, keep that sense that the center of the body, especially this hip, is leading the hand. So every movement of the hand is being governed by the hip. Yeah. Once you feel it, you can take it where you like. I'll to play with the hand a little bit. Now, if you're really working with the hand connected, any movement you change now with the hip will change the hand. So just play now with. Don't think of consciously changing the arm, which would be like doing something like that. Think about just changing the hip. Change the hip, and you can play with any kind of movement. The easier ones are thinking about that where the hand stays below the elbow, because it's basically where the limb's kind of relaxed. But if you feel it nicely, strongly connected, start to play with raising the arm. Because the hand's basically going to come above the elbow. Again, try and get a sense that all the movement especially as you raise the arm now. If you get to this position, really feel that that's connected. It's going to constantly pull the arm. Yeah, that's it. A very simple exercise, but makes a bit of sensitivity. That's nice. And this is quite easy in a way because I'm basically keeping the hand in motion. What I want to do now is like gesture out with the arm and just put it into place. So you're just going to kind of position it. Okay. You want to feel that you're not holding the position, so that in this case, basically holding it would be something like that, or I'm basically loading the arm up with tension. So think about again getting that connection. Work your way into this one, and then just think about gesturing out. The key thing is again feeling that connection to the hip. The hands soft or the arms soft. But it's coming into a position, so the feeling's as if you're kind of laying it on the table or something in front of you. But I don't want to feel like I'm holding the arm up from the top of the shoulder and this kind of thing. So the key feeling here is the sense of weight underneath the joint, and I should really have the ability to relax the fingers, the arms, everything should be quite loose. But just again, work your way into this, and it can be any position. It doesn't have to be out to the front; it can be up to the top. I just want to feel that I can kind of hold the lid in the basic center of the body. Very easy exercise. Just play with slightly different positions. Which is what might make this a little bit clearer as well. So you can do any kind of gesture with this. Also useful to think about kind of picking things up with it. Like picking up cups, picking up glasses, opening doors, opening fridges, pushing things, pushing trolleys in the supermarket, all these kind of things. The other way you can look at this, also think of this gesture as like a pointing movement. So just with the index finger out, just think about pointing out. So you come to here, point out with it. The key thing is you want to feel like this. That is out of balance, and that's in balance. So really easy, again, super easy exercise. You want to feel, it's a bit like a cowboy. You want to basically point from the hip, point from the hip, point from the hip. So you can make this really active, or you can be, yeah. But you want to feel that the arms relax. The key thing is that it feels relaxed from the shoulder, so that it's not in that where I'm holding it out. Think that you're going to kind of hold the position for a long time, and how that would change the way you're holding the arm. You want to feel that it's really relaxed, open, but just play it slightly more active. Pointing with it, super easy. Okay, great. Take your stick, whatever you've got. I'm gonna do, you guys, if you've got a bokken, take a bokken. Short up. So obviously just watch your surroundings with the stick, especially the ceiling and lights and things around you. So with this, we're going to look at movements which are related to the sword. So with this all the time, you're going to have the left hand at the base of the stick Yeah, and you're going to grip it in a way where the little finger and the ring finger are basically the strongest grip on the hand. So you want this right at the base. Yeah, and then the right hand, it's about a fist width away. So you just want it comfortably up. So you're in this kind of position. So the right hand's on top this way. Left hand grips from the base and the right hand the same. So think about gripping. The grip you want, a little bit like you would grip a hammer to strike with, but you just slightly open the front of the grip out. So it's soft, but it's on top of the weapon, basically. So both hands on top. The key thing for us here is you want the heel of the hand, this part of the hand, to be kind of pressing down into the weapon. So you're forming a kind of ring with the back of the grip there. So you've got the left hand on, right hand at the front. And we're just going to work with a gentle swinging movement. So very similar to what we did before. Shoulder width apart with the legs. You're going to raise the sword up to the back of the spine, releasing the grip at the top, and then drop the weight into it, just swing it down. So you're going through the spine to the back, drop it down. Through the spine, drop into it. Right at the top of the movement, and then again, engage the body down through the movement. Give it a try. Okay, great. So one of the main reasons we use the weapon, it's also, I mean, it's part of the culture and the Japanese tradition using weapons. A lot of the art technically comes from weapon work, but the key thing we're working with the sword, especially in solo work, is the additional weight that comes from having the sword in front of the body. So two things will probably happen now as you go into this that you probably didn't have before when you went into this movement. Is this will happen in the upper body, and then this will happen in the upper body. So the added weight of the sword now and the momentum of it, and the idea of kind of cutting with the sword will start to kind of distort the body. So what I want to do is do this really slow. Feel that at the top of the movement, the body's just draining down. So the body should be soft, the elbows should be relaxed, and the shoulder should be open. But I want to feel that the spine isn't in this kind of position, but that it's kind of neutral, lengthened but neutral. And then as you come down, take this really slow, feel that the body basically maintains this structure. So the frame from the shoulders to the hips basically stays the same. I don't want to distort the shoulders out of the system. So keep nice and long. Think about the spine being neutral all the time. And you're trying to now basically have the arc of the weapon and the added weight of it sit into the frame of the body. So, that's it, perfect. Yes. Okay, great. So there's two parts of the movement. Obviously, there's the swing, there's the cut, and there's the raise of the sword, of the stick. So the key one looks like the cut, but actually the key movement for us is the raise of the sword. So what I want you to practice now is let the sword drop, or let the stick drop to the floor. And you want to feel that you're not raising it with the arms and the upper body, but that you raise it from the connection to the ground. So just play with it gently. Have the stick in the ground, and then play with connecting the feet to the ground, connecting the arms into the spine, and then raising it up with it. So that. You want to basically feel the stick go light. The feedback for this in the body is to have to feel the body gets loaded to the front, and I'm basically tensing the upper body. So really get a sense that you pick the sword up from the ground. You're basically making the stick light as you throw it up. Okay, good. Good. So there's two ways you can do this raise. There's a few ways you can do it. There's two main ways you can do it. So what I want you to go is from this position now. So you've got the sword loaded into the hips, the level of the hips. There's two ways you can do this. You can raise the sword with the tip and do that over the top, or you can raise it from the core of the body and let the hands kind of fold in to the movement. We want to, in this case, be doing the second one. So rather than raising from the top, from the outside of the sword, I want to feel that I'm actually raising from the core of the body. So again, exaggerate this a little bit, but feel the difference between that, the tip raising up, and the core raising the sword up. So this is really exaggerated, but in the second one, get the sense that you're really drawing the sword into the core of the body. So it's almost touching the body. And then get the sense, this is the easiest place to move the sword from. So it's loaded into the core, and then I can just find the back with it. But just play with these two methods, feel it and feel the difference between them. Yeah. So it's basically raising the sword from the tip or raising it from the core, the structure. Yes. Yes, perfect. Perfect, great. Correct, we'll just go a little bit into the cut. So we'll keep that the same, but try and feel like every time that you're now raising from the center of the body. So again, there's two ways to make the cut as well. So you can cut the arms, you do the opposite now. So you can cut with the arms in and then push out, or you can cut with the tip of the sword. So basically let it arc away. So if you exaggerate, this looks like this, or cutting out with the tip. Now, I don't want to go to the extreme where I'm cutting out the tip and throwing the tip out, but I want to maintain extension in the arm and just drop it down. So you're doing something in between that, cutting the sword out and dropping and pushing. You want to do something where I'm just keeping the connection here through the arm and dropping it into place. So you've got the top of the movement and then drop into it. All the time until the elbow's heavy underneath the weapon. Underneath. Give it a try. Okay, so the first temptation with this is to start to push out with the arms and basically try and add to the cut. So at the end of the movement, I start to add into it, something like that. You don't want to do this to start with, so keep the movement light. And again, the same thing we did before with the hand, where basically the hip leads the hand. You're working that same connection now. So try and feel that the movement of the hip is stopping the hand. So as you go down, you want to make a connection between the engaging with the hip, where the hip basically folds in and lands into the ground, that, and the movement of the hand, that together. So that together, and just link them together now. Don't think about power, but think about controlling the hand and the sword from this movement of the hip. So this together, this together, this together. Yeah. Again, the power is always going to be in the center of the body. As the hip is controlling the sword. Great. Okay, perfect. So that's the cut, that's the raise, and we're just going to bring in the feet now. So all the time in Aikido, we're working on some variation of this posture. And the sword's the clearest way to do it. So in Japanese, we call this hanmi, and it basically means half body. So you're always going to have one side of the body facing forward. We're never using a kind of combat stance where you've got the hips kind of square on in terms of Aikido. So what you want in this case is the back foot's just pointing out, not 90 degrees, just about 60, something like that. And then the front foot's pointing directly forward. And you just want a natural step. So just play with this from this position. The back of the heel cuts directly through the foot, and then just take a natural step out. So there's like a kind of walking distance. And you just want to feel, once you've got that the sword can sit into that posture. So from this side, this foot's pointing out slightly, and then the front foot, you just let it travel forward, directly forward. And then once you've got that feeling in the hips, just bring the sword into it. You want to cut the back foot, step out, find the mic, find the posture with your arms. So this is right side hanmi. Yeah. Okay, we're going to connect this in now with the cut of the sword. So you're going to start with the feet split out with a step. As you raise the sword now, and to draw the front foot back. Yeah, so it comes back, touches the foot. Bring your sword back to the spine, and then you have to step out, find the cut. So together it goes like this: 1 to the back, and then 2 with the cut. 1 to the back, 2 with the cut. So you're just practicing now coming in and out of the hand into the posture with the foot. So, and just coordinating now the arm work with the legs. That step, okay. So the primary connection all the time, think about, is the ground. So the reason we start all the time, well, I generally start all the time with this kind of movement down, because it really trains the body to think about just the vertical direction. So all the time I'm thinking about the sword basically landing into the ground. So what I don't do is lose that connection now as the foot comes out and go into a kind of forwards pushing movement. So even though the body's is physically going forward in the center, in the space, sorry, you want the sword to drop into the ground. So the feeling in the cut is still down into the ground. So you've got this and then down. So just think of the primary direction, which is up and down, down. So the cut enters the ground rather than it gets thrown out, which I've got to really deal with, and the body will kind of suffer for it. So play with just this feeling of dropping in, top, dropping in, dropping in. So give it a try. So the key is this downwards. Good. Nice. So the sword working, when we do it, it's always going to be asymmetrical. So you're always going to have the right side in front, but we're going to practice now changing the foot, changing the feet. So what you're going to do in this case is, rather than bring the foot back here, you're going to bring the feet together this way. So as you raise the sword now, bring the back foot in line with the front foot, and then you're going to drop one leg back for the cut. So how you do this is, as you raise, bring the feet together, and as you cut, drop one leg back. So you're just practicing now changing from left to right with the cut again. But keep the sword hand basically the same, so the right hand stays in front of the left. Okay, just practice now dropping in right side, left side, right side, left side. And once you've got this coordination in the feet again, start to think about the vertical. So all the time you're thinking about dropping the weight of the cut into the ground all the time. So you're thinking not about out and back, but about down. So you want the weight of the body to drop into the cut. Drop it. Okay, great. So we're going to practice now a rotation movement. So this is on the spot, and you're going to cut one direction and then cut to the back. So this, in this case, start with the right side forward. Start with the same movement we did before, drawing to the back, cutting down, and then here you're going to rotate over. The sword comes to the top of the head, and then you change to the back side. So it goes like this. You go to the back, cut on the right, and then change the direction, change the feet, cut onto the left side. And then once you've got that, you can just keep changing this, changing the foot. So change to the back, change to the back. So you're just rotating the whole body, placing the feet, and entering the hand again. Left side, right side, left side, right side.
Michael, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nina.
Okay, bye-bye.
Enjoy. Okay, I'll just show the feet in this one. So you want to be really simple as possible for this one. So you've got the initial movement there. Now, once you've got that, think about using the feet in a kind of 1-2 way. So the front foot now is going to change, and then the opposite foot is going to open. So think of this as like you close the foot and then you open this one. Close the foot, open this one. So it's a kind of 1-2 motion. Later becomes kind of flowing one movement, but think about one at a time. So you're going boom, boom. And with the cut, you've got that. Release the foot, place the other one. Release, place. So you're kind of treading the feet into the ground. 1, 2, 1, 2. And traditionally, this is kind of 180-degree turn. So perfect. Yeah, that's it. Good, nice. So just put the swords down. We're gonna just do some similar movements just with the hands, so just to finish. So I want you to find that same posture with the feet. So the back foot's pointing out, the front foot's pointing forward. Release into the knees so that the knees are relaxed. And then just want you to think of the hands where you had the sword here. I just want you to think about opening the hands out. So the key thing again is that the hip and the hand are basically working together. Just drop into it this way. We're going to first start with the very first exercise. So the one that we've just done was rotating. So you're going to rotate, change, rotate, change, rotate, change. And you just want to tie the handwork now to the feet. Again, keeping all those points in mind about the weight, the spine stays long. And the key direction for us is the down. So think about the weight of the body constantly entering the ground. So you're placing the feet really consciously, and letting the weight enter the legs. And just try and keep the arms kind of soft, open, heavy. Yes, good. So perfect. Nice. Right, so there's a few movements you can do in between this, but we're going to go to a kind of big rotation with this. So what I want you to think now is stepping from the back leg, stepping in, and then changing the direction, and then drawing this leg back. So you're doing a full rotation. You step, rotate, and then step back. So step in with the back leg, rotate, take the back leg. And again, you just want to tie the handwork to the feet. So step in, rotate. And again, feeling the weight constantly draining down into the ground as you do it. Very really heavy in the body. Nice, very nice. Last thing, this is just to emphasize the arm work and the grounding at the end of the movement. So I want you to start with the arms down this way, and then as you come into the movement, start to engage the arms. And then at the end of the movement, I want you to take a nice wide, slightly higher posture with the hands. So the hands are full, around about the distance of the shoulder, or the level of the shoulder. So you've got a kind of wide movement out. So you've got a relaxed position at the beginning. Step into it, begin to engage the hands, and then finish here in the ground. So nice and solid. And drop it back. So you relax, neutral, gauge into the movement, find it. Drop it back. Gauge, drop into it. Yeah, and the main thing here, the last few you do, just think about, you want to basically use the whole body. So the whole body goes together and it stops together. So everything together, even when you kind of draw back the arms, let the body go together. Everything wants to move all at the same time. And stop at the same time as well. Yeah. And back. Just the last few. Yes. Okay, perfect. We'll stop there. So we'll take it like that. Okay, great. Domo arigato gozaimashita. Okay. Great, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Michael.